Today, we have the great Ken Greene, who is the current interim president of AAHOA and the former president of Radisson Hotel Group. Ken will be teaching us how to survive an economic crisis, the changes coming at AAHOA, and what it takes to be successful in the hotel industry. All this and more on today's True Hotel Leaders, where leaders teach leaders. Do you want to give your housekeepers a raise, but you just can't afford it? No problem. We will increase their pay for you, and it will cost your hotel nothing. Stop the hiring crisis and pay your employees more money. The hiring crisis ends today at We Tip Hotels. For more information, visit wetiphotels.com. Hey, what's going on? You know who it is. It's Bruce Jordan, and we're here for another episode of True Hotel Leaders, where leaders teach leaders. Today, we have the man that has invented hotel swag, the great Ken Greene. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, Bruce. Good to see you.
Same here. Same here.
Yeah.
How's things been treating you so far?
You know, it's been 30 days, and it's been just a wild trip. I've been on the road. I've been with the team, with our members, at industry events, and it's just great to be back and talking to people and being out and traveling.
Yeah, we got the big event coming soon, the AAHOA.
It is exciting. You know, we'll have over 5,000 people attend. The first event in Dallas.
Nice.
Since the pandemic, and the city's behind it. They're excited, and it's gonna be great.
Fantastic. I know you've been asked this question like a million times, but how did you get your start in the hotel business?
Actually, my path in the hotel business was a different one than many. I came in as the chief financial officer for what is now Wyndham Hotel Group, back when it was Sendit. And so, my background was with Coldwell Banker prior to that, and heading up their strategic planning group, and it got acquired by HFS, predecessor company to Sendit. And of course, they owned a whole portfolio of not just hotels, but other different companies. And Steve Holmes asked me to become the CFO for the hotel group at the time. And that was, I'll never forget, it was 2001. So it was a difficult year. It started out great, but then it was a very challenging year, and that was my entree into the business. My first brand that I ran was Howard Johnson, and that was incredible, and I learned an awful lot. I went out and visited every Howard Johnson in the United States. It took me 14 months to do it, but the reason I'm here today at AAHOA was because my first event that I attended as president of Howard Johnson, my very first brand job, and I was a very young guy, didn't know much, and thought I knew more than I did. And I went to the AAHOA conference in Long Beach, California, and it was 2003. And a bunch of AAHOA members that I had just met took me under their wing, and they said, "Hey, Ken, you know what? You want to be really successful in running brands in the industry, do some things differently that maybe some of your peers and predecessors have done." And they took me under their wings, and they really told me, what things I should be focused on, build the right relationships. And those folks helped me tremendously, and I've never forgotten it. They introduced me to thousands of people, that became, many of which became dear friends over the last 20 years. And now's my time to give back. And so I haven't forgotten it. I was taught a long time ago, never forget your roots. Never forgot how you got there, and remember those that helped you along the way. And that's why I'm here.
Hey, we're glad to have you back.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, it's so crazy because I was in Aspen just doing some hiking a week or so ago, and I seen something I never seen before. I seen this tree. It was growing out of a solid mountain with very little soil.
Yeah.
And I looked and I said, you know what? This tree represents the hotel industry. Like, how did we survive?
Perseverance, right? And it's it's really a great example, because in many cases, I think a hotel owner probably feels like that tree sitting growing out of a rock with no soil. The industry has survived because of people. Great owners that had passion, that worked hard, weren't afraid of hard work. I mean, I know some of our members that I've known for a long, long time. They swept the parking lot of their uncle's hotel. when they first came over into this country. They saved some money. They invested it in a hotel. They became the general manager of the hotel, sweat equity, and then today they own 40, 50, 60 hotels.
Yeah.
You know, an American dream story, and that's over and over again. But that's the passion that our hotel owners have, and that commitment, and that, you know, that no matter what the obstacles are, we're going to overcome that. And that's the spirit of the hospitality industry. It's just not with owners, it's with people that work at the hotels. If you ever go into a hotel where you see, you know, a housekeeper that's been there for 35 or 40 years,
Mm-hmm.
and you actually talk to them and look at them in the eye and see the tears of pride that they have, you understand why this industry continues to survive. It's because they're people with great hearts, great passion, and a great commitment to just servicing our guests. And that's at the end of the day, that's the business. I mean, it's you know, it's that little tree, just no matter what, it's going to survive.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, we've been through so much. You know, we had, first thing that happened is you know, 9/11 planes go into the towers. You know, creates another recession. What are some of the things that you did in 2001 to help your property survive?
Yeah, I mean, it was an interesting time because, as I said, that's when I came in as CFO, and just months before that happened. And you know, 9/11 was such a quick thing, right? So it happened so fast and it's such a sad thing. First of all, I mean, we had people that were in the towers that were associated with our company at the time and at the hotel level, and so you know our thoughts and prayers went out to those folks, and providing the right network for them in the short term and the long term was very important for hotel owners. And you know, we rolled up our sleeves. You know, and not unlike sort of what's happened with COVID, I think the two are very similar. We try to do similar things. You know, extend payments for you know, property owners on if you were, I had my brand hat on at the time, so for franchisees, you know, extend PIPs and you know, a property improvement lists. You know, trying to work with you know, with lenders on behalf of our franchisees to help them get better terms, you know, and in terms of, you know, extending payments and on their properties, you know, continuing to maybe improve our education efforts, so they knew how to maybe navigate more effectively and efficiently through certain things to save money.
Smart.
I mean, those were the, you know, we changed some, you know, in some of the brands that we had, we actually changed the pricing model, and you know, so you know, so they could defer capital expenses over a period of time, you know, that normally would be coming due right now. And so I think, you know, it's every hotel is a little different. You try to do some things that are, you know, that help all hotels within the network. But then you got to look at, you know, each situation and each owner individually, and see how you can best do that. And you know, I think those are, you know, those brands that have great field teams. That was the most effective because they, you know, that relationship in the field was really important for those owners. To be handheld through that process. And so, you know, we learned a lot through that. You know, we learned, you know, what was effective, what wasn't, and I think that, you know, in today's world, maybe we did a couple things differently this time around, but that were just more effective. Yeah.
Nice. So that happens, and then we get hit with another recession, just a short period of time later in 2008 with the housing crash. So what are some of the things that really helped us out? And
yeah, that's a little different. I think that actually opened owners' eyes a little bit in terms of the financing side, right? So, you know, I think folks knew that things were pretty good, and at some point, you know, if you look over a 10-year cycle in our business, you know. there's always, 1 or 2 years in that 10-year cycle, maybe 3, that are not so good.
Yeah.
And so you just, it's going to happen. You can't really exactly pinpoint when it's going to happen and how long it'll last. So I think folks were starting to think that might happen. But I think the lesson learned there for owners was just, not being over leveraged.
Mm-hmm.
Cash is always king.
Absolutely.
To save a little bit for those downturns, and that as you start to do your planning, your forecasting out, and your long-term strategic plans, and your budgeting, that you really need to account for that 2 or 3 year period that's going to be a downturn when you start doing it. And that can't just be a one-time thing. That's got to be sort of built into your model.
Absolutely.
So I think that was a big lesson learned. I think, again, as an industry, we try to do very similar things to what we did in 9/11. But I think that was the big aha.
That makes sense. And now we got hit pretty hard.
Yeah.
COVID came out and everything's was going crazy, and now we're starting to see a nice slow recovery. Do you think we're taking the right steps to the recovery that we're looking for?
Yeah, I think we are. But this is you talk about 2001, 2008, and so we all took that into account. Well, again, we learned a lot, right, over the years, and said, geez, we got a contingency plan. You have your best case scenario, you have your worst case scenario. You do the sensitivity, budgeting and analysis. I don't know how many people out there actually had the worst case scenario this bad. Right? I don't think anybody. If anybody honestly did, kudos to them. I mean, no one would have predicted the deep decline in the business so quickly and for such an extended period of time, mm-hmm. with such uncertainty on when it might come back and how it might come back. And so, planning for that, I don't think anybody was prepared for it. I'm sure folks were on the sidelines with some capital, and maybe they benefited ultimately because they were prepared in that sense. But in terms of the operational side, there wasn't. I think we're doing the right things though now. I think in times of crisis, that's when people, come together.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think, I'm really proud of our industry. I'm proud of everybody in our industry. I'm proud of owners. I'm proud of our team members. I'm proud of the leaders in the industry, the brand leaders. Everybody. I think everybody rolled up their sleeves and tried to help. Some probably helped more than others, but we hope we never go through something like this again. But again, that tree sitting in the rock. I mean, again, another great, it's a great example of that. And we're coming out of it slowly. We started to come out of it. Now, listen, I've been traveling for the last 30 days. I've lost my voice doing it. Every plane I'm on, it's filled.
Yeah.
I'm seeing, starting to see, as we started to come back, it was, leisure business in the destination marketplaces. And if you're in one of those markets, you're doing pretty well. If you're in, a non-destination leisure market, you may be not doing so well quite yet, but I'm encouraged. I think the country came together. I think the industry came together, and people are resilient,
mm-hmm.
and they have, we're starting to go back to work. We're starting to travel, and I think that, I think there's a lot of thoughts about, will we ever get back to the levels that we were, and that, will we just be a Zoom community? And when I'm learning, the human connection, people want to be face to face.
Absolutely.
People want to be part of something more than a screen.
Yeah.
So meetings will come back. They may be a little different. They may be, we might do more meetings with less people. That's mm-hmm. possible. But it's coming back, and I see it right now. The planes are full. We're seeing small group events, and again, we're trying to lead the way. At AAHOA, we're doing, you know, a conference in Dallas with over 5,000 people. And who would have thought that, you know, that we could pull that off, you know, 9 months ago? Nobody would have thought that.
Yeah, you weren't even thinking about that 9 months ago.
So pretty good.
So U.S. is a bailout country. We got bank bailouts, we got housing bailouts, we got car bailouts, we got airline bailouts.
Yeah.
How come we never seen a hotel bailout? I know.
Yeah, you know what? You know, so we're it's a great question, and we've got the Save Hotels Act that we're advocating for right now up in D.C. Along with some of the other, you know, industry leaders out there, and that's really for hotel folks that have been closed for more than 12 months, and being able to give them some money so they can get people back to work. But yeah, you know, we need to do a better job of it, and I think everybody recognizes that. And I think for the first time, you know, we are coming together. I think, again, crisis brings people together. So, for instance, we just started the AHA. With the joint, this is an alliance, American Hospitality Alliance with AAHOA, AHLA, 41 state associations, a couple of the brand teams, really focused on grassroots level work at the local and the state levels on these type of issues. And so, so the idea is that, you know, we can work as an association really strongly at the federal level, but working together as an industry with one voice, with a very laser focused, in a very laser focused way, to get these type of initiatives, the Save Hotels, have the state and local folks start to whisper and hopefully get into a very loud whisper and then a yell to the Fed that we need help, and so we need to do a better job of it. And I'm tired of seeing the airlines get all our money.
And the banks, the banks get more than one. They're like, oh, you messed up, do it again. Oh, you messed up again. Here's some more money, do it again.
So it's a personal initiative of mine to you know, I hope we never have a downturn like this that I have to go do that. But if we ever did, it is a personal mission, and I know one that our association takes very seriously to be a great advocate in the future for, because we need to do a better job.
Absolutely, absolutely. So now you're the interim president of AAHOA.
Yeah.
What is one thing that you want to accomplish within the next 12 months?
Yeah, you know, I think the big thing that I want to provide to AAHOA is really a strong leadership with a unified voice over the next 12 months on the things that are most important to our members. And so when I say unified voice, I mean that's the team of AAHOA, that's the board of AAHOA, that's the membership of AAHOA, it's the partners that we have with AAHOA, all on the same page and on really accomplishing the strategic plan initiatives that we have. And, you know, we focus on, you know, a couple things that are really important to our members. One is advocacy, you know, the political advocacy, and those key things that impact hotel owners on a daily basis, whether it's 1031 like-kind exchange, whether it's GSA per diem rates, whatever those are. That are most important to really focus on those. You know, the second is really the franchise relationship and being, you know, a voice for our members and to work with franchisees as they roll out programs to make sure that that members have and owners have a voice at the table, and that you know, we can maybe, you know, help influence how they roll things out, so there's a better adoption rate, and the better adoption rate by a franchisee, the better it is for the brand, and to the extent that it creates value at the hotel level, it's a win for our members. And so, you know, can we just help that process and be a communication tree, and then, you know, then education, right? Education is all important for us with our membership on all levels, and so I want to bring strong leadership in a unified way, and I want to take all three of those areas that I mentioned, and I want to accelerate the tactics that we've got to get those accomplished in a faster, better quality way with higher engagement than we have today.
I think that's what people really loved you like when you was at Radisson, is that the relationship that you had with the owners,
Yeah.
and they always had a voice. So now you're in the perfect position right now.
I was taught a long time ago. I had a retire. At the time he was a retired admiral. My first job out of grad school, and it, it, and he said, listen. He goes, all the problems are out in the field,
Mm-hmm.
and all the solutions are team. And so, if you want to stand in your office all day long, you can make all kinds of decisions. Most of them won't work. But if you go out and talk to the receptionist,
Mm-hmm.
you go talk to the person at the front desk, you go talk to the housekeeper, you go talk to the people that are doing the work every single day. They know the problems and they know the solutions.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're close to that and you're asking the right questions and you're listening, then your job as a leader is to take that and figure a way and taking that solution and being able to scale it and bring it out to the masses to affect as many people as you possibly can in the most impactful way. And so I learned a long time ago, bring people in, listen to all. You want diversity of thought at the table. You want people that are big advocates for you, but you also want the people that maybe aren't happy. And there's a reason why they're not happy. You don't avoid them.
Absolutely.
You bring them in and you engage with them, and then you get a mutual understanding of how to move forward. And the more people you can do that with, the higher engagement you have in any organization, any association, and the better it is for everybody. The more profitable it is if you're an operating business, if you're an association, the more value you're creating for your members. In your personal life,
yeah.
the more rewarding it is, right? So, just a lesson learned.
So for most of us in the hotel industry, we really don't, especially at the lower level, we don't understand what associations are and AAHOA until we get the bill. I'm like, what's this bill for?
Yeah.
And I feel like we're doing a really bad job teaching our lower level staff what AAHOA does, what associations do, and how they help us and protect us.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that we can do to get that message out there so everyone knows that we have a higher power backing us and keeping our jobs safe and keeping our industry protected?
Yeah, it's communication and leadership, right? Mm-hmm. And so anytime someone is at different levels of an organization, and again, our members are owners, right? Mm-hmm. And so at a hotel, that team of employees are their employees, and so that becomes a communication effort for us with those owners on making sure that we're always able to explain what the value proposition is for a member, what is accessible to them, not just as an owner, but for their employees in terms of education, mm-hmm. Programs, in terms of what we're trying to do, again, from an advocacy perspective, because there's a lot of things that are being done at the local level that the people are active in at all levels, whether you're an owner or you're an employee, that are important to you. And so, but it comes to leadership. I will tell you that, you can take a great leader and give them a bad plan, mm-hmm. and they'll make it into something great. You can give a bad leader a great plan, and it'll fail.
Yeah, I see that too many times.
If you get a great leader, with a great plan, and it always wins, almost every time. And so our role in the association is to continue to build and develop our owners, mm-hmm. In terms of their knowledge base of what we have, and help them be able to communicate to their teams how they utilize those services. And so, I look at it as really a leadership engagement and communication issue, building that tree from us to owners and down to line staff. Yeah.
Nice. I feel like your whole background and your whole walk to success is like out of a Hollywood movie. You're like just ready for the big screen.
That's really nice of you to say. Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, a lot of people get things confused. They don't realize to get to any level of success, you have a lot of failures.
Yeah.
You know, like do you remember that one failure that really that you had to learn the hard way?
Well, you know, here's what I can say. It's going to sound sort of funny, but my greatest failure was not understanding that failure is okay, and so it took me a while. I mean, you know, I always wanted to do everything right, and I, you know, and I am a competitive individual, right? So I always, you know, I'd like to meet objectives. I like to, you know, make sure that you know, we develop team members, that we have this road to success. And I always thought that road to success was that you don't fail. That was early on in my career, and I learned really quickly that failure is great. Failure is innovation. Failure is creativeness. Without failure, you can never define what success really is. All right. Just don't fail at the same thing twice.
There you go.
All right.
There you go.
Learn from it, and that was maybe the biggest lesson. You know, I have lots of big failures. I'll give you one. It was just a small one, but it was so memorable to me, and it taught me. You know, again, I was sort of young. I think it was back when I was with Howard Johnson. I was traveling the country, visiting all these properties, and I got home, and there was a stack of stack of mail, and I went through it, and there was a handwritten note. And it was from Continental Airlines, somebody at Continental Airlines. Mr. Greene, handwritten, you know, we see that you've been traveling an awful lot with us. You know, we really appreciate it. You know, thank you for the business. Now, Continental Airlines was my preferred airlines. If you had asked me what my preferred airlines was, I would have told you Continental Airlines. But I took that, and I said, well, that's pretty cool. Now I know what they did. They took a list of all the top travelers, and they put them in a boiler room and said, well, go write notes. So I went out on the road to all these regional meetings, and I used that as an example. And then I said, listen, and it's just when the online comments were coming out. TripAdvisor was really starting to percolate, and I said, listen, now I just shared this story with you, and I've told now 10,000 people this story, and 10,000 people now know that Continental Airlines was my preferred airlines. But you didn't ask me. I told you, and the reason I told you was because of that one simple note. And now you multiply that on the web and what the impact that you could have on your business. And so I said, so I went back, I said, you know, that was a great story to tell, and hopefully that'll change some behavior. I got back to my office, and there was about 200 notes, all with misspellings, punctuation errors, and I was like, what the heck did I just do? And so the lesson learned there was, I told everybody what they could do and why it was important, but I didn't tell them how to do it. And I didn't give them the tools to do it effectively in an optimized way. It was a big aha, and you know, that's a mistake I'll never make ever again. So,
200 notes. For me, it had to be inventory. I remember I had this chef we would do inventories together, and his food cost was just way too low. Like it was like 23%, which for luxury that's pretty low. And something told me, go check the expiration dates on some of this stuff. I go back, it was like I'll probably say 10% of the stuff was like dead stock. We had to throw like at least 10% of the stuff away. His food cost went up to 30%, and I'm like, I'll never make that mistake again.
Well, I'm going to end with this because I told you I had a mentor early on in my career, you know, Admiral Ott, and he's a dear friend of mine to this day. And he said, Ken, you do three things in life, whether it's in your business life or your personal life, you'll be really successful. He said, never stop learning. You got 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use it in that ratio.
There you go.
And he said, you know, that'll serve you well. He said, the second thing you do that you should do is do the things that you don't want to do, the things that, the small tasks, the things that people maybe ask you to do that nobody else wants to do. Do it with the same passion that you, of the things that you enjoy to do. Because if nobody else wants to do those things, but you do it with passion, those will open up windows of opportunity for you more than doing just the things you like to do. And so, I can give you probably 10 examples from my career where that really helped me grow and get opportunities. He said, and the third thing, and I mentioned it earlier, is really never forget your roots. Never forget the people that got you where you got to and the people that helped you along the way. And then if you ever get into that position, give back and remember, do the same that to those that helped you along the way. Do the same thing to others. And that's where I'm at in my career.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Well, you heard it here first. The great Ken Greene. Listen, thank you for coming on the show. We really appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And
Good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you for watching. This is another episode of True Hotel Leaders, where leaders teach leaders. Talk to you soon.